Hey everybody, welcome to the KetoMom page. My name is Stephanie. We're going through the book, and this is exactly what we're talking about. The body is what the body is fed. On the same token, the mind is what the mind is fed. We're talking about environments. Actually, just the next 3 pages is incredible to give you a thought or something to think of for your day. So, as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? I've been reading all morning. My voice sounds like morning voice, but I haven't really been talking to anybody. Actually, everybody's sleeping. All right, where are you tuning in from? We're going to talk, actually, there's quite a bit that I want to read to you because it's super powerful in the first 2 pages. But good morning, good morning. I just said the body is what the body is fed, just like our mind is what our mind is fed. And I went, oh, I'm going to love this chapter. So we're going to dive right in. Where are you tuning in from? I hope you had an incredible weekend. We were outside all weekend. It was, well, I'm in Minnesota. So if you get a nice day, we were like, it's summer. It's great. It was so great. So your mind is an amazing machine. All right. When your mind works one way, it can carry you forward to outstanding success. And the same operation, it happens in the same operating is, but the same mind operates in a different manner. It can produce a total failure, right? Success or failure. It's talking about the environments that you're in. He's talking about the power of your brain and what it can do in any area of your life. He says the mind is the most delicate, most sensitive instrument in all creation. He says, let's look now and see what makes the mind think the way it does. Millions of people are diet conscious. So, I like this. He says, most people are diet conscious. We calorie count. We spend millions of dollars on different things to help us on our diet. And we all know why, right? Through nutritional research, we've learned that the body reflects the diet fed to the body, right? So what you feed your body, you will eventually be able to tell, even just on the outside, what your body is being fed and how you're feeling physically. He said physical stamina, resistance to disease, body size, even how long we live are closely related to what we are eating. The body is what the body is fed. On the same token, the mind is what the mind is fed. Mind food, of course, doesn't come in a package. I went, mind food? What are we feeding our minds? He says, you cannot buy it at a store. Mind food is your environment, all of the countless things that influence your conscious and subconscious thoughts. The kind of mind food that we consume determines our habits, our attitudes, our personality. Each of us inherit a certain capacity to develop, but how much of that capacity are we developed? And the way we develop that capacity depends on the kind of mind food we feed our minds. Is this making sense? Like, we feed our body, right? We count calories or we count carbs or we are super conscious of what we put in our bodies. And that determines how we feel, how we act, all of those things. It's the same for your mind. Mind food. And what is good mind food? He's going to tell us it's determined on our environments, the people that we're around, the things we're watching, the things we're reading. I would love to read this whole chapter to you, but clearly I cannot. It would be long. The mind reflects what its environment feeds it, just as surely as the body reflects what the food that you feed it. He says, have you ever thought of what kind of person you would be if you were born into a different country, a foreign country? He said, depending on, you would have different clothes, a different name, all of that, even up to the point where like a different religion, you'd have a different family, and it would determine who you are. You would be a completely different person. He says, you are a product of your environment, where you live, the places you work, the friends that you have. He says, most important, there's so much I'd like to read. Environment shapes us. It makes us think the way that we think. Try to name just one habit or one mannerism that you have that you did not pick up from another person around you or a family member. most importantly, the size of your thinking, your goals, your attitudes, and your very personality is formed by your environment. This is just great awareness, right? You might be going, but I can't change that right now. I have to go to work, or I live in the place that I live. Yes and yes. And you can continue to give your mind food, brain food in different aspects, right? So like right now, you're on here, you're reading, you're listening to something that really should grow your awareness and your mind. If you're listening to podcasts or good books, or maybe you've joined a different environment, a different group of people to help grow you as a person, right? Doesn't mean you have to pick up and move. It doesn't mean you have to unfriend people, but you're going to have an awareness of, okay, here's where I'm at. You have to do the same thing with your diet, right? Here's where I'm at, and I have goals. How am I going to get there? Well, I've got to change my environment. I've got to go to the gym. I need to change the food that I'm eating. I'm not going to go to the fast food restaurants every day. I'm going to it's the same thing. If your goal is fat loss, you change all of those things. If your goal is to have a better mindset, which ultimately determines your fat loss, you've got to change some things on your path, on your course to get to where you want to go. Make sense? All right, let's see. He says, prolonged association with negative people makes us think negatively. Close contacts with petty individuals develop petty habits. On the bright side, companionship with people who have big ideas raise the level of your thinking. Close contact with ambitious people give you ambition. He says, experts agree that the person that you are today, your personality, your ambition, your present status in life, are largely the result of your psychological environment. And experts agree that the person you will be 1, 5, 10, 20 years down the road depends mostly, almost entirely on your future environments. Who are you around? What are you listening to? Are you around a whole bunch of crabs in a bucket that are trying to constantly pull you down? So he puts people into 3 different types of groups. He says, when we were young, we thought we could take on the world. We could do whatever we wanted until we got to a certain age. I'm guessing probably around middle school or junior high or high school, where you would say things like, I want to be the president of the United States. I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to, whatever the case may be. And you had people in your life that said, that's a foolish dream, right? That's impractical. That's stupid. Good luck. You'll never reach that. When you've got people in your life that tell you you won't ever do it, he said there's one of 3 people you become. Because we've all had people that have said, good luck. That's not for us. Like, you will never achieve that. I'm sure somewhere in your life, somebody has said, you'll never be that size. Oh, you've always been this way. Oh, it's in our genes. Yeah, right, good luck. You're going to the gym, right? How many of you have had somebody that's ever tried to pull you down? All of us have. So he says, either you're one of 3 different groups. Either you're in the first group, and those people just surrender completely, don't fight for what they want in life. They just live a mediocre life, and just are. They just exist. They've accepted all of the negativity, and they're not willing to do anything to get out of it. You're number 2. Those people surrender partially. They go after things they want. They come back to security. They go after things they want, and eventually they realize it's too much work, and they sit back in I'm not going to try. It's too hard. Or there's a third group of people who never surrender. These people find life stimulating, rewarding, worthwhile. These people look forward to each new day, each new encounter with other people, an adventure to be lived. They don't let other people dictate their future or where they're going. They've got this if you tell me I can't do it, I'm just going to take that as a challenge to push harder. And you can change the bucket that you're in by working on your mindset, changing the people that you're around, speaking out loud affirmations of the things that you want, right? he says, remember this, people who tell you that it cannot be done almost always are unsuccessful people. They are strictly average or mediocre, and at best in times, they haven't accomplished much. The opinions of those people are poison. Develop a defense against people who want to convince you that you cannot do it. Accept negative advice only as a challenge to prove that it can be done. Be extra cautious about this. Don't let negative thinking people, negators, destroy your plan to think yourself to success. Negators are everywhere, and they seem to delight in sabotaging the positive progress of other people. Your environment matters. The people that you are around matter. The things that you are putting into your mindset matters. He tells a whole bunch of stories, and I'm not going to go into the rest of it because we're going to start talking tomorrow about how to seek advice, finding mentorship. But the thought today is, if you are like your environment, what are some things, just like you change in your diet routine? I want to lose weight. What do I need to do differently? Because you can't get to where you want to go if you do the same things that you've always done, right? So if you change things in your diet, like I'm drinking more water, I'm moving my body, I'm being mindful of food I'm eating, I'm not eating as much sugar, whatever the case may be, you do that with your mindset. Okay, I want to be more positive. I need to get up every morning with a thankful heart. I need to write down the things I'm thankful for, gratitude. I maybe have a lot of negative friends. I'm not going to defriend everybody, but I'm going to go, who's already doing, who is successful, who do I know that I can learn from? Right now, you might go, nobody in my sphere of influence. That's why you go to books and you listen to podcasts. You find people online until you navigate to, like, where you live in town. Think of people who you'd like to be around. Who is somebody who you're like, if I could just learn from that person, have a coffee with that person, have dinner with that person once a month, and go, tell me how you got to where you are today. Why are you so happy? Why are you so successful? Teach me. I want to be around somebody different. What if you reached out and asked? You guys, I'll tell you this thing. When we moved, so we've lived in Minnesota, born and raised. We had our first two daughters. Our second daughter was brand new, and our first daughter was 2. And my husband wanted to work at this church in Oklahoma. So my husband used to work for Life Church. He was a part of if you guys are familiar with the YouVersion Bible app on your phone, if you don't have it, you should download it. It's incredible. But my husband said one day, he goes, I really want to move. And at that time, nobody moved out of our town. Our whole family was in our town, and they still are where we are today. Everybody lives here except for one sister. Grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, cousins. And back years ago, and it was probably 12, 13 years ago, I was like, we're not moving. Why would we move? And my husband is very much a visionary. He's like, I want to move. I want to be a part of what they're doing. I want to go learn. There's so many things that we had to overcome. But anyways, we moved to Edmond, Oklahoma City area. And I didn't know anybody. And I remember the first time we went to church with our girls, and I was like, what are we going to do here? Like, my husband was going to work. I decided to stay home with our girls. I saw a mom, and she had 3 little girls. So, like, my girls were 2 and a newborn. We have 4 girls now. But I saw her about 5 rows ahead of me. And she had, at that time, they probably were, let's say 3, 5, and 7, her girls. And I went, oh my goodness, she's got girls. She looks so happy. They are praising the Lord. Like, I just watched this mom, like I observed. Remember in the beginning of this book, he says, observe people and find the people that you want to follow. And I watched her the entire service. I watched how she interacted with her girls. And I went, I want what she has, or I want to learn from her. So I ran right up to her and I said, listen, we just moved here. I don't know anybody. I've got daughters. You've got daughters. And I just feel like I need to learn from you. And she's been my mentor ever since. We met, she took me under her wing, she helped me with parenting, she helped me with being a better wife, she taught me so much in those 5 years that we lived in Oklahoma. I will always and forever be thankful for her, and we still talk today. I just was on the phone with her this weekend. And so there's got to be somebody in your life that you're like, how did you do what you're doing? Teach me how to be a better parent or a better spouse or business or relationships or fat loss. And if it isn't, you find them online. My husband has some great mentors. He says, I've got mentors, around me. And then he goes, I've got mentors online. They don't know they're my mentors, but they are, because I learned so much from them. And so you've got to get out of your comfort zone and go ask somebody, hey, I want to learn from you. Vice versa, somebody might say no. There's a man here in our town that my husband says, I want to know how he's done what he's done. He's super successful in business. My husband ran into him as they were out and about, and he said, hey, I'd love to take you out for dinner. I'd love to take you out for lunch. I'd love to just know, you're so successful. And the man's like, oh no, you can never learn from me. And really degraded where he was at, which makes me go, he doesn't really believe that what he's done is successful. On an outward appearance, people in town will go, yeah, he's successful, but he did not want to meet with my husband. And that's okay, right? That just shows me mindset-wise where he's at. He may still meet with him, he may not. It's interesting, right? On people that truly believe in themselves and people that don't. I would challenge you to really pay attention to your mind food, what you're putting into your mind, the people you're around, the environment that you're around. It's super important. I love this conversation. I love mentorship. I love people. I love learning from people. Super important. And if you want to get anywhere in life, you need to follow the people that have already done it. Don't recreate the wheel. So this is the book we're going through. We'll continue tomorrow. I hope that gave you something to think about, give you some more awareness as you go throughout your day. As always, if you have questions or anything, you can scroll through my page or send me a message, and I'm here to help. Doesn't matter what the question is. It doesn't have to be just about keto. It could be mindset or parenting or homeschooling or whatever the case may be. That's all I've got. So I hope you have an incredible day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.